Department of Mechanical Engineering, accredited by NBA. So DCET 2020 examination, part 1 and 2, module number 1. So it will cover lathe and theory of metal cutting. So MCQ, multiple choice questions on theory of metal cutting. Question number 1. The point at which the cutting tool, which is behind which it will not function satisfactorily until its reground, is called as. The answer is tool failure, B. So totally 4 question option is given. So out of 4, the total tool failure is the right answer. Second question, which cutting condition affects the cutting temperature predominantly? So 4 option is given: depth of cut, cutting speed, feed, and none of the above has any effect on the cutting temperature. The right answer is B. So cutting at the time of during the cutting time, so the metal temperature and interacts area of the cutting tool will be more. So that's why the cuttings, depending on the cutting speed, the tool will be failure. The cutting speed is very important parameter. Third one, the angle between the side cutting edge angle and end cutting edge angle is called nose angle. So in between the angle between cutting edge, totally tool signature 7 important tool signature. The nose angle is the angle between the side cutting edge angle and end cutting edge angle. So fourth one, when the cutting face of the tool 90° to the line of action of tool, then it is known as. So there is a oblique cutting, orthogonal cutting, cannot to be cut any of the above. The correct answer is orthogonal cutting. So explanation: orthogonal cutting tool approaches the cutting edge of the parallel to the uncut surface. So the tight of the flat surface. The oblique cutting, it makes in a direction of the motion. So in a single point cutting tool, feed is expressed in mm per revolution, centimeter per revolution, per rotation, and centimeter per rotation. The right answer is per revolution. Feed rate is velocity at which the cutter is feed, that is advanced against the workpiece. It is expressed in unit distance per revolution for the turning and boring inches per revolution. So millimeters per revolution, per revolution. So next 6 question, discontinuous chips are formed during the machining process. So brittle material, ductile, hard, and soft. So there are, at the time of cutting process, there are 3 types of chip formed. The first one is a continuous chip, with built-up edge, and discontinuous chip. The question is, discontinuous chips are formed during the machining of, so brittle material, so discontinuous chips are formed. So next is the continuous chips with built-up edge are formed during the machining process. So this is a answer is ductile material. Continuous chips with built-up edge is formed during the machining process. At the time of cutting, the anomalous heat will be developed in between the tool and workpiece. So tool and so the built-up edge will be formed at the tool face. That's why the answer is ductile material. The ductile material during the machining process produce continuous chip. Ductile material during the machining produce continuous chip with built-up edge, both A and C. So both a continuous chip and continuous chip with built-up edge. The ductile material during the machining process, continuous chip and continuous chip with the built-up edge. Cast air during the machining process. Cast air during the machining process, there are 4 options given. The first one is a continuous chip, discontinuous chip, continuous chip with built-up edge, and none of the above. The right answer is discontinuous. Cast iron is a very hard material, carbon content will present on that material. So there is a discontinuous chip formed at the time of machining process. The single point cutting tools has rake angle, cutting angle, lip angle, all of this. The right answer is all of this. There are 7 things called as a tool signature: rake angle, cutting edge angle, lip angle, slide angle, all of these. So this is a single point cutting tool. You can see this figure, you can clearly understand side rake angle and rake angle and lip angle. So the above 3 will be mentioned in the figure. Next one is the factor responsible for the formation of discontinuous chips is low cutting speed and large rating, low cutting speed and small rating, high cutting speed and large rating, high cutting speed and small rating. The right answer is B, low cutting speed and small rake angle, the factors responsible for the formation of the discontinuous chip. Next, 12th question. The high cutting speed and large rake angle of the tube will result in the formation of continuous chip, discontinuous chip, continuous chip with interrupt edge, and none of the mentioned. So the right answer is continuous chip. Why it is continuous? So low cutting speed, the small rake angle of the tool is responsible for the formation of a discontinuous chip, while high cutting speed and large rake angle of the tool will result in the formation of the continuous tool life is affected by. Tool life is affected by. So the depth of cut is also important parameter. Cutting speed is also very important parameter, and speed is also. The right answer is all of these. The relation between the tool life is tool life t in minutes time, and the cutting speed is divided by v in meter per minute is. So the equations are given: p raised to n t equal to c, pt raised to n equal to c, p raised to n by t equal to c, p divided by t raised to n equal to c. So pt raised to, the right answer is b. Taylor's expression, Taylor's equation, pt raised to velocity, time, and constant, pt raised to n equal to c. The determining the various forces on the chip, merchant assumed that cutting edge of the tool is sharp, and it does not make any flat contact with the workpiece. Second option is only continuous chip without build-up edge is produced. Cutting velocity remains constant. So all of the above. So all of the above. So they determine the various forces on the chip, merchant assumed that. So almost all above 3 will be all of the above. The cutting edge of the tool is for a sharp, and it does not make any flank contact with the workpiece. Only cutting chips without with the edge, and cutting velocity remains constant. All of these is right answer. You can see the merchant circle diagram. So there are forces acting at the time of cutting. The force in between the workpiece and the tool. Cutting forces can be measured using a transducer, dynamometer, load cell, all of them mentioned. So cutting force can be measured with the help of all of the mentioned above. Load cell also can measure, transducer, and dynamometer. MCQ on a lathe machine, multiple choice question. The 17th question, number 17. A lathe with a 4 steps on the cone pulley and with the back gears will have 4 direct speed, 4 indirect speeds, 4 direct and 4 indirect speeds, and last one is 8 direct speeds. The right answer is 4 direct and 4 indirect speed, because length of the 4 steps and 4 pulley, the back gear will be the 4 stepped 4 pulley at torque provides four direct ranges of speed through the belt correction with the help of back gear in the engagement. And 18th question, when the tool moves parallel to the lathe axis, the moment is termed as cross beam, angular beam, longitudinal beam, and any of these. So the right answer is C, longitudinal. Once the tool movement taking place parallel to the axis of the workpiece, so longitudinally or x-axis, it is called as turning operation. You can see this figure clearly understand. Next, ninth question. Dash dash is the process of making internal threads. Turning operation, clamping operation, milling operation, knurling operation. So turning is a to reduce the diameter of the floor of piece. Turning, milling is a to cut the gates. Knurling is a repeat purpose. You can make a you can use that repeat purpose or handles in the process. So the right answer is tapping process B. With the help of tapping tool, you can make a internal threads. An operation of embossing a diamond shaped pattern on the surface of the workpiece is known as, it is called as the answer is knurling, knurling operation. Casing operation to reduce the length of the job. Countersinking, so some area will be countersinking, some area will be boring. So taper turning, vertical shape. So knurling is a diamond shape. Is a knurling is a diamond shape. You will get the workpiece. Knurling operation. So next one is 21. The lowest speed in the lathe is adopted for the following operation: turning, taper turning, thread cutting, and knurling. The right answer is at the time of taper turning, the lowest speed of the lathe adopted. In turning is there is no problem. You can to reduce the diameter of the given piece. Taper turning is a lowest speed is required. Thread cutting is also not necessary, and the process is not as compared to all above process. The taper turning the lowest speed is required. Question number 22. A universal dividing head is used to perform a milling operation by plane indexing, direct indexing, different indexing, and compound indexing. So the answer is a differential indexing. So the worm and spindle in the machine, uh, worm and spindle in the machine are ordered and ground and has feature of the spiral machining capability. These are highly applicable as the necessary for the milling machine. Question number 23. The mandrel is used to hold eccentric work, heavy work, thin work, none of these. So the mandrel is used in the hold the workpiece. So the answer is D. Uh, Explanation. Usually steel is used to support the partially machined workpiece, a long workpiece, while it being finished as or around which the part may be bent, other material, gold or molded. Slow speed of the spindle is necessary in thread cutting, turning, and longer diameter, turning in a hard and rough material. So the right answer is slow speed is very important at the time of threading. Slow speed is also turning also important, and we will get the good finish and turning a hard and rough material. Slow speed is very important parameter. That's why the all of this. 25th, tool signature consists of dash dash element 2, 4, 5, 7. Totally 7 is the right answer. Tool signature, side clip angle, back clip angles, edge cutting angle. Total 7 important parameters in the tool signature. So next is which machine's tool is known as the mother machine tool. So drilling, milling, lathes. Lathe is a mother of all machine tools. The answer is C. Lathe is a preliminary used to producing the surface, cylindrical, spherical, tapered surface. cylindrical surfaces. Lathe is primarily used for producing the cylindrical surface, but today it can perform various operations to perform various surfaces like curvilinear surfaces, flat surfaces, and so on. Question number 28. The width of the cutting edge of a parting of a tool various form. Option is 3 to 12 mm, 5 to 20 mm, 8 to 30 mm, 50 to 40 mm. The width of the cutting edge of the parting of tool varies from 3 to 12 mm. The right answer. What is the necessary for condition for turning? So, material of the work should be harder than the cutting tool. Cutting tool should be harder than the material of the workpiece. Hardness of the cutting tool and material of the piece should be same. So none of the above. The right answer is above 3 is very important to necessary to condition of the turning. Material of the workpiece should be harder than the cutting tool. Material of the workpiece should be harder than the cutting tool. Cutting tool should be harder than the material of the workpiece. Harder of the cutting tool and material of the piece should be same. So answer is B. So cutting tool should be harder than the material of the workpiece. Next, question number 30. The lead screw of the lathe has dash dash threads. So single star, double star, multi star, or any one of these. So in case at the time of thread cutting, lead screw will engage in the lathe machine. So in lead screw threads, it is a single start. It is a single start. The answer is A. Single star thread as a one continuous thread running along the body of the screw. A trapezoidal thread is used in the lead screw of the lathe machine. It has 30-degree included angle, stronger at the root, easy to manufacture compared to the square. Next, question number 31. Which type of feed is needed in a basing operation? Longitudinal, cross, both cross and longitudinal, and none of the mentioned. So the answer is B, cross line. The tool moving perpendicular to the axis of the workpiece. So the basing operation done in lathe machine. The portion of the tool on which cutting edge is formed is called the portion of the tool which cutting edge is formed is called flank, nose, base, descent. The right answer is nose of the cutting tool. Crater wear occurs mainly on the nose part, front relief base and side relief base of the cutting tool. Base cutting tool at a short distance from the cutting tool edge only, cutting edge only, front base only. The right answer is B. Base of the cutting tool at a short distance from the cutting edge only. So crater wear is mainly due to diffusion and aversion. They are commonly observed here. The continuous chip is formed. Crater wear occurs on the rake face of the tool, while crack wear occurs on the relief flank or relief face of the tool. Which type of feed? Question number 34. Which type of the feed is needed in turning operation? So, which type of feed needed in a turning operation? Longitudinal, cross, and both cross and longitudinal. None of the mentioned. So, longitudinal, parallel to the axis of the workpiece, the tool will be taking place. We will get the turning operation in the lathe machine. Which type of the lathe is known as center lathe? So the engine lathe, bench lathe, tool room lathe, captain lathe, engine lathe is a known as a center lathe. Question number 36. Which of the following is the base of the lathe machine? So bed, tailstock, headstock, none of the above. Bed is a main foundation, leg and bed. Or in, above the bed, tailstock, headstock, and located or provided. Question number 37. For performing which kind of operation tailstock force set tool? The performing which kinds of operations tailstock force set tool? Drilling, reaming, tapping, all of the mentioned. The mentioned. So answer is D. So drilling operation also you can performing which kinds of operation tailstock force the tool is drilling, reaming, and tapping required. All of the mentioned above. The right answer is D. Next question number 38. In which of the following milling machine the table can be tilted in a vertical plane by providing a arrangement at the knee? So first one is universal milling machine, plane milling machine, universal milling machine, hand milling machine. So in case the out of four option, the universal milling machine table can be tilted in a vertically plane by providing the usual arrangement at the knee. Universal milling machine. A single point thread cutting tool should be ideally have zero rake angle, positive rake angle, negative rake angle, point angle. The answer is zero rake angle. The single point thread cutting tool should be ideally have zero rake angle. These two types of moments possible to carriage provides various moment for the cutting tool. So carriage provides various moment of the thread cutting tool manually by power feed, manually and power feed both, none of the insane. So the correct answer is manually by power feed both. These two types of movement are possible to carriage provide various movement of the cutting. So next question.